It was biodegradable that needed specialized handling. That's where Abdul came in. Earlier, he used to walk the streets day and night, scavenging recyclable waste for 8 to 10 hours and working hard to fill up his huge plastic bag that is worth something only if it reaches 60 kg of weight. 60 kg. Unless he met his daily quota, he had to give a miss going to his municipal school where he was enrolled, and that happened quite frequently. Most rag picker kids are not even fortunate enough to see the face of a school, leave alone be educated. Across India, they work without any job security, no regular salary, no dignity, and are exposed to adverse health effects like infections, respiratory diseases, tuberculosis, etc. Abdul, too, like many others, had to face harassment on the road and the disgusted looks of people around who found him filthy and repulsive due to the nature of his work. It was mutual collaboration with Abdul and not charity that worked wonders for him as well as the school. The understanding was that the teenager had to attend his regular school in the morning, which was monitored by taking frequent feedback from his teachers. In return, he reached my school by 4 p.m. to sort, bag, and sell the dry recyclable waste which was waiting for him in segregated bins that were kept ready by the school cleaning staff. So the so-called waste, that is plastic, metal, glass, or even extra paper that he collected and sold to the kabariwala did not go waste, but instead became the very resource for Abdul's education in exchange. This arrangement not only improved the quality of his and his family's life, but also gave him ample time to pursue vocational training. Once I asked him, Abdul, tu bada hoke kya banega? He replied, मैं बड़ा होके पढ़ा लिखा कबाड़ी वाला बनूंगा. Much later, he called me one day. I had left the school and moved to another station on posting with my husband. We spoke at length, and he told me he had moved on and has become a professional driver. What if? What if all schools, colleges, institutes, offices, communities, housing societies, etc., etc., each one adopt one Abdul? This simple act will not only lift ragpickers' children from the street and put them in school, but will also change many lives for good. So each one adopt one. Thank you for listening. I'm Neeta Ganguly.
So I hope you liked the video. This is very close to my heart because this is something which we're taking care of. Remember, we don't have to put the waste to waste. Thank you so much. There is so much potential. Just tap, and I'm sure you're going to feel good. I feel very good that when I see a landfill burning, I know it's not because of me, because for 17 years, no biodegradable waste has left my home. So join me in my mission, and the earth needs, because we have to restore our ecology. And as you all know, we are all facing the sixth mass extinction. If we don't wake up, if we don't take action now, it's going to be too late. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you, Jyotsna. I'll stop sharing.
Thank you so much, Neeta. I think there's so many people who have so many questions, and we are going to field our questions to you one by one. And I mean, the first question that I have is, what inspired you to start this journey to climate consciousness? You have told us some of it, but maybe if we will be able to recap this and really help people understand how they can do this.
I think it all starts from when you are a little child, and it all starts what your parents, teach you. So unless the parents bring that attitude, that's why I told you, Jyotsna, when I saw your parents last week when we had that session, I knew that you got it from your parents. It's the seed is sown by the parents. So it all started over there. When my father used to get a lot of greeting cards. He was in Delhi University. He was a professor there. He used to get a lot of greeting cards in for New Year's, and we used to collect it. And our birthday was in September, and I'm a twin. I have a twin sister, so we used to collect it. We used to make caps out of those cards, and then that's how it started. Of reusing, it started because we were taught that whatever you throw in the dustbin, yeah, God is looking at you. So you have to be careful that your bin is as scarce as possible when it comes to food or waste or anything. And this is something which was always there in our Indian culture of reusing. So that concept, I think it has to come back to. We started looking at the West. The use and throw method was never there in our system. So we need to go back to our roots, and it's easy for us, for Indians to, follow and inculcate it, because all we need to do is just go back to what your grandmother used to do. So I'll give my credit to my parents.
Exactly. What a good message. Go back and see what our grandparents used to do. And I think that's something that's so easy for us to follow. Yeah. And if you have any doubts about how to do it, then we are going to be sharing now very soon on our website all the details of, her Nita's whole learning and her journey, and the steps that you can take. And I know that you have a lot of advice and, on many other types of recycling. But how did you decide to focus specifically, the question is, on wet waste?
So wet waste actually started, I was doing I was teaching at Sanskriti school, and we had some project. I don't remember what the project was. I took some students to the Ghazipur landfill, which is a famous Ghazipur landfill in Delhi. And, I saw that. I said, oh my God, where's the hill? How do we have a hill in Delhi? So when we went there, it was like for it was something which stuck with me. The smell stuck with me for 7 days. It was terrible to see those children wallowing in that waste, and the fumes coming out, and the gas and the burning. That's when I realized that there is something wrong we are doing. So then I contacted people in our premises, and we started this composting in our schools. So the proper 100% composting I introduced in my school, and that's in 2004 I'm talking about. And I started composting in my house too. We were at Vasant Kunj, and we were in a flat. My husband was that time posted in Chandi Mandir in Chandigarh. And I was with my children, and I started composting in my house, and I got a bin. And my husband came back and he says, Nita, what are you doing? I mean, it's going to stink if you start, doing all these experiments. So I told him, the day it stinks, I will stop composting. But I have not looked back, because if you follow the rules, if you follow the right way, and follow the laws of nature, because what we have done, humans have, we moved away from nature. We have created a parallel world of human world. But if in the natural world, there is no waste, somebody's waste becomes somebody's food, somebody's poison becomes somebody's potion. So we have to go back to the natural world. If we start doing that, we can actually survive. This is going to be a wonderful place, and we are going to flourish. That is what is required. So it all started from that landfill, and I was determined that not a single wet waste will leave my school and my home. So that is how I, and that time, internet was just coming in. So it's not that everything was at your fingertip, but then you research, you find out, you talk to people, And when you talk to people, there are some who will share their failures and some who will share the success stories. But I always say it's important to share your failures also, because once you say, hey, I failed, then somebody say, hey, but I have done this and I succeeded. So then you connect and you learn. So it's important to talk about failure as well as success, and that's how we need to move forward. So that's how I started with the wet waste. When nobody wants to talk about wet waste because that stinks, that smells, but it doesn't. It's sauna. So my boys, when I used to go with, wherever we used to get posted, I used to take my drum with me everywhere. So once one of the boys asked, ma'am, ये कचरे का डब्बा लेके आप क्यों घूमते रहते हो, आप क्यों जाते रहते हो? So I used to say, ये कचरे का डब्बा नहीं है, ये सोना बनाने का डब्बा है. मेरी देश की धरती सोना उगले हीरे मोती.
What an amazing thing to tell people, and what an amazing message to share. And of course, you know, there's a question here from Kamya, who's seen this, and she wants to know, ma'am, how can we share this presentation in schools and colleges? So is there the links you've shared, is your presentation there, or where's the information available?
Yes, I think in the chat, I've given all the links to my videos. You contact me, in Mumbai, people contact me, and there's a Visanji school over here, academy over here. So the principal, she had heard me in one of the presentations. She contacted me, and we have brought in the whole movement in the school. We've brought in RUCO. The children have started making their own bioenzymes. They're composting. I'll help you. You tell me, you call me, you just whistle, and I'm there.
Amazing. And very soon we are going to have all Neeta's links and everything up on our website, and we can all connect with her through this. And Nino has a question about electronic waste. What are the options for electronic waste?
So, electronic waste, because I'm not taking up the dry waste over here. I have a whole thing to talk about electronic waste also. Remember, electronic waste comes under the category of hazardous waste. It's a hazardous waste. So please do not give it to your kabadi wala unless he is a certified electronic waste disposer. There are different people for electronic waste, and kabadi wala is different. There are some kabadi walas who are certified. You need a certification to take care of it because it has to be done scientifically. So we all have this powerful tool with us. We call it the mobile phone. Don't use it only for Facebook and WhatsApp. Use it through Google and find out who is your e-waste recycler. That's what I did when I came to Mumbai. First thing I did was I connected, and I found out there's EcoReco, which is there in Mumbai. I connected my hospital with it. So now all the e-waste is collected in one place. We call them, they come and collect, they pay you because that's money. That's called, they use a concept of urban mining. You don't have to mine the lands to take the metal. You can do the mining from the electronic goods. They're full of metals. So you'll save your mining of your natural mining and mine it from these electronic waste, but it has to go in the right way because we'll do it in a scientific way. If you give it just to an ordinary kabadi wala, he will use acid, he will burn it, he will pollute the land, he will pollute the air, and then he'll extract that metal. But that will cause other hazards. So Google, search, find your nearest, and most kabadi walas and e-waste walas have gone online. They all have their website, so connect with them. If you don't have anybody, connect with who is the nearest. We are all the time buying things online to save money. So keep a little money aside and pack it and send it online or courier it to the e-waste recycler. But there are e-waste recyclers everywhere. So please connect. Do the search and you'll find it.
Hello, madam.
Exactly.
Good evening. This is Umesh Shukla.
Yes.
Hello, madam. I am audible.
Hello, Umeshji.
Yes, madam. Good evening. This is Umesh. Madam, I am doing the mushroom farming, and my colleagues, about 100 farmers are doing same. and we are using the agricultural waste and converting to wealth, agricultural waste.
Okay, great.
So after the harvesting the mushroom, yes, actually after harvesting the mushroom, we have the waste substrate. So we want to convert the substrate into the organic fertilizer. So do you have any technology that can help us?
What is mushroom, first of all, tell me?
Mushrooms.
Oh, okay. So I'll tell you something about mushrooms. I'll tell you a story. And so Umesh, you take it from there. As I said, you have to connect everyone. It's all available. You have to Google search and you can research and you find out. But let me just tell you something about mushrooms, okay? So this is a person I have met and I've done a workshop with him.
Actually, madam, please listen me. I'm not talking about the mushroom. I'm talking about the waste after the harvesting the mushroom.
I'm coming to that. I'm going to give you a solution, but I'm not going to give you a solution by giving you an address. I'm going to give you a solution for you to search. So I'm just trying to change attitude here. So this is about Gunter Pauli, who is a Belgian citizen who I think he stays in Japan. And he has an organization known as ZERI, Zero Energy Research Initiative. He believes that answer to all problems lie in the 5 kingdoms. If you've ever paid attention to your biology class in 9th standard, you did classification of plants, animals, and all. So you have the protozoas, the amoebas, the bacteria, the fungus, the plants, and the animals. These are the answers to every problem. So he actually got a problem from Colombo. Colombo is the second most largest producer of the coffee beans. All right. So the coffee beans, when they were sold it, they used to sell it to Starbucks, and they had a litigation with Starbucks where they lost. And so the litigation was basically on that when I sell the coffee, you know, we get only 1% of their profit. So Starbucks is selling their whatever the coffee they're selling it, they get only less than 1%, and they lost on this ground that the coffee beans when we buy from Colombo, it's not the beans, but it's the extract from the coffee, which is less than 1%, which we take from the coffee beans. Hence, we give them 1%. So they lost that. So when we came to Gunter, he said, okay, fine, since they pay you for your extract, you give them the extract, but keep the coffee beans, that's a substrate, what we're talking about, with you. All right. So he says, then what do we do with that? He says, hold on. So he researched, he found out about those 5 kingdoms. What grows on something which is dead is fungus. So what he did was, he took those coffee beans as substrate after taking out the coffee, and he started growing Takakashi mushrooms in that. But after growing the mushroom, this is where your thing comes in, Umesh. After growing the mushroom in the coffee beans, those coffee beans could not be made into a substrate or into a fertilizer because they still had caffeine, and caffeine becomes toxic for the soil. Too much caffeine because it's very acidic. So what they did was, he says, what do we do next? So then they said, okay, fine. What they did was, they actually took that leftover coffee beans, made a slurry out of it, and started growing spirulina. They are algae. So now Colombo was not only selling international market coffee extract, but they were selling Takakashi. They were selling spirulina, which are capsules, which are sold, very expensive capsules. And then after making the spirulina, then whatever the extract was left, that became good for making manure. So you see, there are technology which is available everywhere. All you have to do, and making a manure is no great science. You just allow nature to take care of it. You have to be careful about how you are putting the balance of your nitrogen as well as your carbon. Once that balance is there, you will get fantastic manure. All right.
Yes, yes.
This is something you
Yes.
need to research and find out. And even as you said, the Pusa Institute has already taken out certain capsules and all things. Maybe you can contact them. Maybe you can find out about it. So you have to get into the cyclic mode. Once you're in the cycle of nature, you not only make profit, like Colombo is now making 3 times the profit, what they used to make only 1, but you also get into the cycle. So your last waste becomes your first resource.
Thank you very much, madam.
That's amazing. That's very inspiring, Nita. But one other question that I have from one of our listeners, and I also have this question for you. So now we don't ever tell anyone how old anyone is because after all, it's irrelevant. But you've worked for so many years and you are carrying on the good work. What is the secret to your glow and your energy? How do you get the motivation to carry on doing this wonderful work?
I don't have any problem in growing old. In fact, I celebrate every time I grow old. I'm just waiting to become a 60. I'm going to 2 years. I'm going to become 60 years, and I would love to become a senior citizen. So age is no barrier, because what is important is that be connected, be in sync with nature. I can see your mom over there. Ninu is there. Look at the way she's glowing. All right. All right, look at the way she's glowing, because she's connected with nature. She and her husband are connected with nature. You stay connected with nature, you'll be happy for life. You don't need any social media or anybody to keep you happy. It's the plants and the animals. They also have fish with them who's going to keep them happy. It just get connected with nature and do the right thing. Be in sync with nature. You're going to be happy.
That's amazing. Do the right thing, be connected with nature. Is that your mantra to health and happiness as well?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, my mantra is that I always believe that, you cannot anybody cannot be forced to, for a certain attitude or, forced to do something unless the person himself or herself embraces and wants to bring in the change. So I am only a motivator. I just show the path. I just try to tell them that this is an easier way. This is a healthier way. This is a natural way, And I said, nature should become the most important and the biggest pandemic. If we have to make it, we need to make the nature the pandemic. That should become infectious, because when that becomes infectious, everything is going to normalize. We are moving away and away and away from nature, So peace, satisfaction always comes when you are connected with nature. Whatever place you are, you can always bring in. And it's not, another attitude is my job. It is my job. My waste is my job. And I take pride in that. So I have bins under my sink. And most of the time, there are people who come to clean the house and they say, Madam, kachra. I said, aaj nahi hai. Aaj nahi hai, aaj nahi hai. Because all my kachra, whatever it is, even if there's a tiny little plastic, I put it in my drop box. I collect it after 2-3 months when it becomes voluminous. Then I will send it for recycling. So I make sure there is my bins are there. I've got the red and the blue and the green bins. I've put it over there. And I take pride in looking at it every day and says there's no kachra. Because there's kachra is with something which I have to throw it out, right? But I'm not throwing it out. I'm either keeping it to be recycled or I compost. And I love composting. More than gardening, I love composting. I have got brown fingers. I always say my husband's got green fingers, but I've got brown fingers, and I love my brown fingers.
Exactly. Me too. I love giving my friends compost as a gift, It's such a fantastic gift. I mean, we compost everything from our house and our garden, and we don't buy any, khad at all. So now, what's next for you? You've written books for children. You conduct seminars. You are constantly, creating awareness. You're really walking the talk. What's next on the agenda for you? Tell us.
So I have Pooja sitting over here from my hospital. So now, since the pandemic since we came to this place, the pandemic started within 6 months.
Yeah.
We've not connected. So now I've made a little group in my hospital, and I'm going to start, these programs of reading the books, and start it with my people in the hospital. Of course, I keep doing my webinars too, and I prefer to do my webinars. I feel my carbon footprint has grossly come down because we are connecting in this method rather than going to a place, flying to a place and having booking a venue and all. Those are all obsolete now. This is the way to connect. I keep connecting with some or the other webinars I keep having, and so I love to do that. And now I'm very soon I will be going to actually Gujarat to teach, to train some teachers to do that. So, but I still prefer this this mode of connecting. So I'm going to, yes, my next thing is to make sure that all my doctors and their family in this hospital, they start following me. I'm the CEO's wife. Why not? They can follow me.
Yes, yes.
But my thing is to motivate people and get more and more follow the path of the nature's way and not the human way. The human way should become the natural way too.
Absolutely, that's so right. So Sushant over here has a question where he's put up quite a detailed about, he's been expanding his green building. Sushant, tell us where your building is. They've covered 4 multi-stories of 15 stories each, and they have 400 kg of vegetables and microgreens. So Sushant, I've sent you a link to sell.lucknowfarmersmarket.com, and we can also connect you with other people.
That would be nice, ma'am. Thank you.
Where are you based? Where are you?
I'm based in Delhi NCR, but most of our buildings are in Delhi, different parts of Delhi.
Okay, this is so amazing. Really, we need to cover all our buildings with greens. So for you to be growing your greens, that means you are, you're purifying the air, you are adding to the green cover. Look at our cities. They widen roads, they keep cutting trees. And we're going to have Nita back because she has so much more to tell us about, not only about different parts of waste that can be actually converted. She has an amazing session on livelihoods through waste. Look at the story that she's told us today about Abdul. I hope each of you are inspired. I'm very inspired. We have a cafe on our premises here, and I'm going to talk to them to see how we can do something and get some of these children who are, in our neighborhood. And we'll have another session talking about your story with Abdul, Nita, and how we all can have many Abduls and help them.
Ma'am, just a minute, I'll take. You see, what had happened is, it took us almost 4 years now to, in fact, convince, get the people understand, accept that this can be done, not only to fill up their daily requirements, but also, and it has grown up to a size today that it is also a problem because, people can't consume what they're producing. And the neighborhood areas who are having second, 2-story or 3-story building was also trying to adapt it. They are very fascinated with all these things going around. But where do we sell? People have so much space, whole of the roof they can convert. And they are ready to do that investment, but we can't guarantee them to sell the produce. See, I've got 400 kgs.
That's what we are here for. Sushant, lucknowfarmersmarket.com. We actually want to connect everybody who's working in any form of sustainability. Our website is live. We've tied up with a partner called Delivery Pan India. We have Nino right here, who sells green packs from her house in Goa and in Scenic Farms in Delhi. I think they just started their winter deliveries yesterday, going out all over South Delhi. Absolutely delicious, crunchy, rocket, spinach, basil, onion greens. 12 different types of greens. So definitely, Sushant, we can help connect you to consumers. I've put my email address there. I've put a link over there, and let's connect with this, please. And you can also message me your number.
Well, one small thing, favor, can I have anybody who has any study of this market microgreens or this,
yes. Let's connect on this. Yes, and we'll definitely take this forward. We've got people working in hydroponics, aquaponics, and microgreens.
Basically, what happened is there's a question which is a South Delhi Committee of Residents. Nita must be aware of the Chittaranjan Park, the Kalkaji, and all those places. And in fact, the first question comes is, boss, how much, what should we produce and where do we sell it? So though we have experimented with, greens, decorative, most of the places went for decorative, seasonal flowers, and then they came in for vegetables. And now we are, the vegetables are posing an issue. So I can't even advise them what to sell and what not to sell and what to grow and what not to grow.
Compost, okay, we can definitely help you. We can definitely help you with this. So we look forward to connecting on this. Please do drop your number in the message box.
I'll just put it on the chat box now.
Thank you. So Nita, this is, I think, once we start these discussions, it takes us to so many related things, and we are going to have you back really soon. We'll be sharing on our website and we'll have your information up there. Yes. And what's your last message? You've told our viewers a lot of things we can do. We're going to share those snapshots of RUCO and about, the different types of composting and, making this bioenzyme. There's that little short video of yours that you've given the link.
Yes. So what I've given in the chat box is I've written some poems on bioenzymes as well as on composting. So, and the poems actually tells you exactly step by what to do. So I just, it was one of the fun thing which I did. I think it was appreciated. So I've given those links. Then I've given another link on Gila Kachra, which tells you about, it's a video which I've made. It was a very amateur videos, where I've given a demo of how to make a bioenzyme and composting, and also how to handle the biomedical waste, and of course, yeah, Abdul's story also I've given. So my message is that there is no cause is lost as long as there is one person to fight for it. So pick up something, whatever is close to your heart, whatever you can do for nature, pick up one thing. It started with one thing with me too. And slowly it's kept on expanding because it gives you so much of satisfaction and pleasure. So after this webinar, just pick up one thing that you're going to do, which is going to benefit the environment, and take it from there and spread it. And whatever knowledge you have, please spread it. I mean, I don't believe in commercializing everything. I'm here to give it. I'm in the Shramdan mode now. I've worked till 2014, and after that I consciously gave up my job because I plunged into Shramdan and I try to reach out to as many people as possible. As I said, this media has become the fastest and the best way to reach out to as many. And so practically every month I've been giving 2-3 demos and talks to people. So do get into the Shramdan mode. Also, everything cannot be only money. So do a little bit of that too. And the satisfaction you'll get is if certain thing doesn't get sold, donate it to people who really need it, but don't let it go into your waste bin. Nothing should go into the waste bin. Even if it goes into the waste bin, remember it should be like a transit bin. It's waiting to be reused, repurposed, or recycled, but it should not reach your landfills at any cost. And landfills should be only dry waste and no wet waste. Then only we can turn all the stinky ones into resourceful. So that is the attitude we need to do it. So everybody, so you see, the wet waste goes from every individual house. So we have to stop letting that wet waste get outside your house. And I've shared how easy it is to compost. If you follow the laws, it's not going to stink. It's going to turn into soil. I'll show you the picture. In 1 month, you can see the soil coming out. So you have to stop throwing that wet waste. Segregate it at source. That is important. ये मेरा काम है, ये मेरा काम नहीं है. You can't have my not my job attitude. It is my job to segregate. Okay. And it just needs like an elbow bending exercise, I say. Instead of throwing it like this, you throw it like this. You segregate it. It's important. And take pride. Take pride in your waste. Please value it and take pride in your waste. It's going to then, all the problems will disappear if we have that attitude.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Neeta. I think we've learned so much, and this is just the start. I think there's so much we can do together to make more people aware of the difference that each one of us can make. And thank you for such a receptive and, you know, collaborative and interactive audience. And we'll be sharing this with many more people. Don't worry, guys. If you miss any of the links, just go to lucknowfarmersmarket.com, and on the event page, all the links will be there. It'll be on our YouTube channel, Lucknow Farmers Market, and on our Facebook and Instagram page by tomorrow morning. And we will be back with Neeta again, and more such, innovative and inspiring ways for us to actually just go back to our roots and live sustainably. Thank you so much. I'm so thankful. Can we ask Dr. Ganguly, can he just clone a whole lot more of you so that we have more people doing this amazing work?
Definitely. You want to?
Thank you.
Yeah. Definitely.
Thank you.
Next time I'll
thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
And God bless, and everyone, please stay safe.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you to all of you.
Thank
you, everyone.
Good evening, Neeta, ma'am.
Good evening. Thank you.
Yeah, today actually it was a very different phase of yours learning towards.
Good evening, ma'am.
Thank you.
Because I know you in other way, but today it was really a different page.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Do you want to take a picture, everyone? You want to take a
yes.
picture? Yeah,
let's put on.
Yeah. Switch on your camera. So, Seema is another person from Bombay who has designed her own menstrual cup.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's the menstrual cup queen of Bombay. So I'll get you connected. I'll share her number, and you must get connected with her.
That sounds amazing. I'm also part of Pad Squad. So yeah, we'll let everyone please put on their cameras and let's just
then I am a part of Pad Squad because of Monica.
Oh, lovely. Okay. So we are on the same group. We'll connect later then.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Picture, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Neenu, I was totally impressed by your talk, your and your husband's talk. You're muted.
Well, as you said,
shall I just unmute?
Have a passion and to connect with nature, to grow your own food. There's nothing more satisfying. For the last 2 years, we have been in isolation, but we haven't felt it.
Yes.
We do our own work, we grow our own food, have all our vegetables, and compost. I love to compost and to grow both. So I have green and brown fingers. I'm very happy.
Lovely.
So come and visit us sometime.
I will.
And what we have done, as you were saying, is built green platforms around our house, and the difference it makes, we clean and filter the air.
Absolutely.
One, that. Two, we insulate the home. So we've never used an air conditioner in Goa. People live in air conditioners, we never have.
Wonderful.
So it cools the house too.
Yes.
So we have to do climate control ourselves.
True. Absolutely.
Your talk was wonderful. Thank you. It was a pleasure to listen to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Till we meet again. Bye-bye.
Take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye.